Until somewhat recently, I wasn't the most athletic kid. Never the strongest, never the fastest, and I was without a doubt always picked last for recess games in elementary school. This all started to change when I started dedicating my life to my sport, sprint kayak, which I began the summer before grade 8. Now, some might say that it was nothing but the sport that had changed me physically. However, I would say it was how I shifted my mindset and mentality as a whole. Sure, doing 2 to 3 workouts every single day undoubtedly helped, but without my mindset and my mentality, none of my achievements would have been possible. But I'm not here to talk about myself today. Good morning, my name is Collver, and today I want to speak to you about a word that gets thrown around so often and in so many different contexts that it is genuinely beginning to lose its true meaning. This is something that I believe separates the successful from the average, the resilient from the resistant, and the committed from the comfortable. This concept is something called discipline. In this speech, I will be speaking to you from the realm of athletics because that is where my knowledge lies. However, you can plug in any aspect of your life to these scenarios, whether it be in the arts, academics, or even things outside of school. Now, the accomplishments that we see on the daily are not always talent. They are much, much deeper than that. And that is where we find discipline. Discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done, even when we don't feel like doing it. Now that sounds simple, doesn't it? But make no mistake, it is one of the hardest things a human being can master. To get up each and every day, whether that be after a long day of school, when fighting cold, or even in the grind of assessment week, and push toward a goal. But yet without it, greatness lies impossible. Jim Rohn, who is an American motivational speaker, once said that discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. The lie of motivation. In today's world, we live in a culture obsessed with motivation. Every day, we scroll past videos, quotes, and reels telling us to stay motivated or to stay inspired. But the truth about this is that motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the weather. If we rely solely on motivation to guide our actions, we will lead a life of inconsistency. Discipline is different. Discipline doesn't focus on how one feels. It doesn't ask for permission, and it doesn't wait for the perfect conditions. It is the tool to focus on what needs to be done. And I'll say this more clearly. Discipline is the foundation, and motivation is the decoration, or the icing on top. The greats in business, in art, and in athletics, they don't show up because they're always motivated. They show up because they've trained themselves and calloused their minds to act, regardless of what their mood may be. The war within. Discipline is not a fight against the world, it's a fight against ourselves. Every morning, when that alarm goes off, our mind gives us a choice: rise or retreat, train or rest, build or delay. And the enemy of comfort, average, or complacency whispers, just 5 more minutes. You deserve it. You've earned a break. You've worked hard enough. Discipline is the voice that replies, no, not yet. Work is still to be done. Kobe Bryant was once in an interview when a reporter posed a question asking him if he was happy with himself and with his team after beating the Orlando Magic in Game 2 of the NBA Finals. This now meant they had a series lead of 2-0. Kobe simply responded by saying, "What's there to be happy about? The job's not finished." Which was the perfect example of the kind of person Kobe was and the discipline that he carried with himself. We are not born with discipline. It is forged, learned, and fought for through discomfort, sacrifice, boredom, and repetition. And yes, it's hard. And sometimes it really sucks. But it's supposed to. That's the point. What discipline looks like. Discipline shows up in many ways. Discipline can be seen in saying no when others are saying yes, even though that may be against the vast majority. It's studying when every part of us wants a night off. It's going to the gym when our friends are going out partying. It's saving money when everyone else is spending it recklessly. Discipline is silence in a world full of noise. It is focus in a world full of distraction. It is choosing to be alone in pursuit of a goal, whatever that may be. It's waking up early, training through nauseating fatigue, practicing, studying, or rehearsing through complete boredom. It's choosing to delay pleasure for power of the future. It can be lonely, but over time, that repetition becomes an identity. It is no longer working toward discipline, it becomes being disciplined. I know I said I wasn't going to talk too much about myself today. However, I do want to share one small moment that taught me what discipline really is. It was a freezing October morning, still completely dark outside, when my alarm went off at 5:10 a.m. I was exhausted, sore, and every part of my mind was telling me to stay in bed, and that missing one practice wouldn't matter. But I got up anyways. I drove to the canoe club, stepped out into the cold, grabbed my boat, and then pushed off from the dock with no one but my coach watching and none of my teammates there yet. In that quiet moment, I realized that for me, discipline isn't built in races or in gold medals. It's built in mornings like that, when no one sees you and you choose to show up anyways. However, that being said, don't get the wrong idea. I am nowhere near perfect. And that was one example of when I exemplified discipline specifically in my sport. I personally struggle quite a lot with discipline in other aspects of my life. The strongest example of this being my academics. For me to sit down for over an hour every night to do homework feels next to impossible most times. And that is represented in some of the grades I receive. And for me to pay attention in class the whole time is like telling a monkey not to climb a tree. It's not happening. But if I could put my mind to it and improve my discipline in this aspect of my life, not only will my grades start to be better, but then I will start to feel better about myself and gain that confidence that helps me get to where I want to be. This then leads me to my next point. Failure is the best teacher. Failure is something that we are all told we should be avoiding, but it is one of the greatest teachers we may ever have. It humbles us, sharpens us, and it reveals the gaps we didn't know were there. When we fall short, it doesn't mean we're not good enough. It means we're being invited to grow. Failure shows us where to aim next, what to improve, and who we're capable of becoming if we don't give up. Some of the strongest, most disciplined people aren't the ones who succeeded the fastest, but the ones who learn to stand back up with patience and try again. Failure doesn't close the door, it opens a new one that leads to resilience, maturity, and a deeper understanding of ourselves. Discipline is freedom. Here's the paradox. The more disciplined we are, the freer we become. I'll say it again. The more disciplined we are, the freer we become. Think about it. The disciplined person has control over their time, their mind, their habits, and their actions. They aren't slaves to temptation, laziness, or emotion. They choose their path, they write their story, and they stick with it. While others react, they respond. While others wait, they act. And while others distract and drift, they drive. That kind of freedom, the freedom to become who we are truly capable of being, is not given, it's earned, and discipline is the price. Now I want to address something that we've all fallen victim to at one point or another. Excuses. I'm tired. I don't have time. I'm not like those people. I went yesterday. Let me be blunt but honest. We are all tired. We are all busy. And no one starts out with an advantage that can't be overcome with discipline. We are not special because we struggle. We are not broken because it's hard. We are simply human. And being human means we have the power to change and the power to turn off that nasty voice that tells us 5 more minutes. No one is coming to save us. No one is handing us discipline on a silver platter. We either build it ourselves or continue at the mercy of our habits and impulses. We can either conquer our excuses or be conquered by them. There is no middle ground. Start now. If we wish to live with discipline, we have to start waiting for the perfect moment. Start now. We shouldn't plan to be disciplined tomorrow, and we shouldn't tell ourselves that we will get serious about it on Monday. That's all a trap. All of it's a trap. It's a rouse in our mind, and then we stay in the same daily cycle. They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. Start with one decision, one goal, one habit, or make one commitment, and practice discipline by not breaking it. Not for anyone, not even for ourselves. The true definition of insanity is the inability to think and behave in ways considered to be normal and rational. So be insane. Flip that switch in your brain, and every time we choose discipline, we vote for the person we want to become. Over time, those votes become our path, our muscle, and our destiny. So I want to leave you with this. Discipline is not a punishment, it's not a burden, and it is not suffering, though it might sometimes feel like these things. Discipline is a gift, a path, a weapon, and more importantly, it's a promise that we make for ourselves. It will not always be easy, and honestly, it may never be easy, but you must push through, and I promise you, it will always be worth it. Always look forward to the end, your goal, the possibilities and opportunities that lie ahead. Choose discipline, and you will choose a life that few have the strength and fortitude to live, but everyone respects. Please join me in singing hymn number 460. Thank you.